The obsidian temple had stood untouched for a millennium, its crystalline walls reflecting the amber light of Kepler 442b's twin suns. Within its sacred chamber, the sword of Vextaner rested upon an altar of star-forged metal, waiting for warrior worthy of its ancient power. Commander Marcus Chun of the Terran Expeditionary Force didn't believe in destiny. He believed in explosives, tactical superiority, and getting his people home alive. But when the Zephyrian death squads had cornered his unit in the temple ruins, desperation made believers of even the most pragmatic soldiers. "Sir, the energy readings from that blade are off the charts," whispered Sergeant Rodriguez, her scanner, flickering erratically near the altar. "Whatever it is, it's been active for centuries." Marcus studied the weapon through his helmet's HUD. The sword appeared to be carved from a single piece of midnight blue crystal, its edge shimmering with an inner light that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. Ancient Zephyrian runes spiraled along its fuller, glowing with soft bioluminescence. Outside, the chittering war cries of the Zephyrian hunters grew closer. His squad was down to their last magazine each, and the temple's only exit was blocked by hostile forces that had been systematically exterminating human colonies for 3 years. The legends say only a warrior of pure heart and unbreakable will can claim Vextaner's blade. Rodriguez continued, consulting her Xenorchaeology database. Every Zephyrian prince for the last 1,000 years has tried and failed. Marcus snorted. "Pure heart? Lady, I've got the blood of 100 sentients on my hands." He moved toward the altar anyway. "But if this oversized letter opener can get us out of here alive, I'll take it." The moment his gaunted fingers closed around the hilt, the world exploded into sensation. The sword's consciousness hit him like a psychic sledgehammer. Ancient, proud, and utterly alien, it swept through his mind with the force of a stellar wind. Marcus felt his mental defenses honed through years of counterintelligence. Training crumble like paper before the entities. Probe. "What are you?" The voice resonated not through his ears, but directly into his neural pathways, each word carrying the weight of eons. Marcus gritted his teeth and held tight to the weapon. "I'm the guy who's going to use you to kill some aliens," he growled back through their mental link. A pause. Then, incredibly, what could only be described as disdainful laughter. "You are human, a species barely out of its cradle, fumbling with primitive chemical rockets and nuclear weapons. I have waited 1,000 years for a worthy wielder. And the universe sends me this." The sword's consciousness recoiled as it continued reading his memories. Marcus felt it witnessing his childhood in the slums of Neo Francisco, his military training, the battles on 6 different worlds. The entity paused at certain moments, a young Marcus sharing his rations with starving refugees, a Lieutenant Chun carrying wounded civilians through enemy fire, a commander who had never lost a soldier under his direct command. "Your species fights with such crude methods, explosives, projectile weapons. No finesse, no artistry. You are barbarians." "Maybe," Marcus admitted, feeling the Zephyrian forces closing in. "But we're barbarians who win." The sword's presence suddenly focused on a specific memory, the siege of Proxima Station, where Marcus had held a defensive position for 72 hours against impossible odds, buying time for civilian evacuations. Not through superior technology or mystical powers, but through pure, bloody-minded human stubbornness. You do not yield, even when defeat is certain. "Yielding is for people who have somewhere else to go," Marcus replied. "We don't." The first Zephyrian burst through the temple's main entrance, a 7-foot-tall insectoid nightmare with siding 4 claws and compound eyes that gleamed with alien intelligence. Marcus raised the sword instinctively. The blade came alive in his hands. Energy coursed through the crystal. And suddenly Marcus could see the quantum strings that held matter together, could feel the electromagnetic field surrounding every living creature in the temple. The sword wasn't just a weapon, it was a key to understanding the fundamental forces of the universe. But instead of overwhelming him with cosmic knowledge, It simply made him better at what he already knew how to do. Marcus moved with impossible speed and precision, the sword cutting through the Zephyrian's exoskeleton like it was made of silk. More enemies poured in, and he met them with a combination of human tactical thinking and the sword's otherworldly capabilities. This is not how I imagined my return to battle, the sword's consciousness observed, a note of surprise in its mental voice. You fight like a human, Marcus finished, decapitating 2 attackers with a single stroke while Rodriguez and the others picked off enemies with their rifles. We don't fight pretty. We fight to win. Yes, I see that now. As the last Zephyrian fell, Marcus felt the sword's assessment of him shift. The ancient entity had expected nobility, mysticism, perhaps even enlightenment. Instead, it had found something far more dangerous, a species that turned desperation into victory and made warfare into an art form through sheer, uncompromising will. I have been mistaken, the sword admitted. I waited for a worthy warrior, believing that worth must be measured in spiritual purity or cosmic understanding. But worthiness, I now see, can also be measured in loyalty to one's people and the will to protect them at any cost. Marcus nodded, already planning their extraction. Route, so we're good? We are compatible. Marcus Chen of Terra, your species may be young, crude, and utterly without subtlety, but you possess something I had not encountered in 1,000 years of testing would-be heroes. What's that? You refuse to be anything other than what you are. And what you are, apparently, is absolutely terrifying when properly motivated. As they moved through the temple toward freedom, Marcus couldn't help but smile. Lady, you haven't seen anything yet. Wait until you meet the rest of humanity. The sword's consciousness seemed to shudder with something that might have been anticipation or perhaps terror. I look forward to it.